My view of the creative landscape back then was that there were certain immortal artists who possessed superhuman abilities, and then a whole lot of mere mortals without the requisite mystical talents. From the way my professors lectured about Vladimir Nabokov and Flannery O'Connor and Zora Neale Hurston, I gathered that these geniuses naturally spouted flawless prose and effortlessly manifested vivid and human characters on the page, while people like me could only hope to follow in their stylistic footsteps. In my creative writing classes, we'd read short fiction and novels each week, pulling the prose apart to see why it worked. But we never discussed how it had been done. How many drafts did it take for James Baldwin to finish Sonny's Blues? Did Truman Capote use an outline to organize Breakfast at Tiffany's? Was it a good idea to write longhand and then type it up later, or just dive straight into Microsoft Word? Should you carry around a notebook all the time to scribble down ideas, or was that pretentious? After breathlessly discussing the perfection of many masterworks, we'd eventually turn to our own shambolic attempts at writing fiction. Silently, we'd sit there and be workshopped. For anyone who's never had the pleasure, back then this meant that our instructor and peers talked at us, pointing out every character inconsistency, plot hole, awkward phrase, and lamentable word choice. After a lot of laughing and eye-rolling and insincere complaints, my pages would be returned to me, bathed in red ink, inevitably revealed to be a hopeless mess. We hoped to emerge with thicker skins, the creative light inside us not wholly snuffed out, but this was a constant struggle. There was praise in our workshops too, but I noticed that a writer's successes were nearly always described as having been achieved effortlessly, because of something innate in them. "You've got a great eye for detail," a professor might say. "A real feel for the language." Strong scenes were lifelike, and great sentences had natural flow. When it was good, in other words, it was just good, and little was said about how it had gotten that way. Once more, it seemed that there was something innate in rare genius writers that we either had or didn't have, something that no amount of revision or practice could replace. Hoping to trick everyone into believing I was one of these talented few, I began finishing my workshop pieces a few days early and asking my girlfriend to give me feedback so that I could patch up all the worst mistakes before our class met. This worked. Steadily, I began to earn praise in my class for my sense of humor and my ear for dialogue. Just one problem. I felt like I was cheating. No one knew I'd had to work so hard to get the humor and the dialogue right. If anyone ever saw my first drafts, I feared, they'd realize I was still a talentless hack. My determination rose, even as, after 3 years of workshops, I still had no idea if I was any good or not. We celebrate the genius in both the arts and the sciences. The singular, brilliant mind that can do what everyone else has failed to accomplish. Invent a light bulb, compose Symphony No. 40, see inside a black hole, write Hamlet, discover the electron. We lionize prodigies who perform with the Philharmonic and then finish college before age 10. We speak of the once-in-a-generation mind. We uphold the myth of genius even as it reinforces the narrative that the rest of us will most likely fail unless we happen to share in their gifts. Yes, we might read that a now famous actress stumbled in auditions early on, or that a tech wizard flunked out of college before creating the app that made him a billionaire. We recognize that hard work and persistence are important to accomplishment. But these are billed as mere prologue to the massive success we already know has occurred. In retrospect, we think they were always remarkable, just unappreciated at first. Similarly, we are aware that we, and lots of people around us, work quite hard, and still never reach great success in the end. Is it all luck? Or is there some X factor, some genetic advantage? Some divine gift?